All right, back live tonight here in Focus, and thanks for staying on. The ANC Youth League in Gauteng has slammed the Provincial Agricultural Department over the Nguni project. The Young Lions claim that the scheme to empower aspiring farmers with 30 pregnant heifers and a bull is deceptive and will only benefit whites. The league's Kotso Pooe joins us now for more on that. Kotso, good to have you, and thank you very much for your time. The Nguni program, I would think it's a program that has been with the Department of Agriculture and Rural Development for a while. What is different about how it's being carried out now?
Good evening and good evening to your viewers. The ANC Youth League Gauteng Provincial Task Team has made a commitment, particularly after the outcomes of the general elections, that as the ANC Youth League, we are intending to prioritize young people and advancing their interests. So as part of our commitment, we said we're going to place strategic oversight across all departments within the province, particularly after the Premier of Gauteng, Panyaza Lusufi, had announced his cabinet. So we said we're going to place strategic oversight in all programs that are implemented by each and every department in order to ensure that young people are considered in whatever program that each department seeks to implement. So out of that, the ANC Youth League Gauteng, through consultation and engagement and having this matter being raised with us, but by our stakeholders within the agricultural space, we've then had keen interest in understanding this particular program. Now, what we have found to be odd is that this program seeks to only give this Nguni cow to those that have previously benefited from the apartheid regime. It does not make any logical sense to then want 500 hectares of land for a person to qualify as a prerequisite, because that disadvantages many black South Africans, many black Gauteng residents, particularly youth in general, who would want to enter the space. Yeah. Now, as the ANC Youth League in Gauteng, we had already made this commitment in saying that we want to ensure that young people in this province participate in all sectors of mainstream economy. And this on its own will then ensure that as the young people in this province are taken serious and they are able to also participate in this great opportunity. We have nothing against the initiative. We believe that this initiative is quite a good initiative that seeks to empower people within our province. But what we're saying is that this initiative, to a certain extent, excludes those who do not have the necessary requirements, because the requirements are too steep for them to be met. I think in our statement, we have made it quite clear that we seek that the 500 hectares of land be reduced to at least 50 or 100 hectares of land, which will then enable those that are still, or those that have plots, those that have a small farm, are able to also benefit from this initiative. So this initiative is a good initiative, and we believe that it needs to also consider some of the other factors that are there.
So are you saying to us, since I can see it goes back as far as 2015, so this probably is the second iteration or third iteration of this program being done. Do you have evidence to qualify what you're saying, that qualifying black farmers are minute compared to qualifying white farmers who could have benefited, at least for the 2 rounds of this program that has been on?
We do have evidence. In fact, we prior to this interview, I had an engagement with Kolani Mlangeni. I had an engagement with another young person who resides in Sakile Siwel, who resides in Gauteng, and also another black person that is by the surname of Sipei, who have been part of that program, who were there on the intended day that was set by the department. And part and parcel of the issues that they have raised is that for a black person to participate and effectively benefit from this program, that person needs to be properly established. So what we're also raising is not an issue of the hectares alone. We're also talking to the issue of the capacitation and enabling and bringing an enabling environment where young people and other black South Africans can participate. Because it has been proven for years that land dispossession has happened in this country, and this has been an argument that has been raised from generation to generation. If you can recall very well, the ANC Youth League was the first at its Nazareth conference to pronounce the expropriation of land in order to make it a point that the black people in this country who have been dispossessed of their land are able to also factor and participate in mainstream economy in the agricultural sector.
Yeah.
Because agriculture is part and parcel of what has made us who we are today. It is not an issue of that we are new in the space. We are saying that out of the development that and the evolution that comes with the agricultural space, the department also needs to consider the capacitation and the infrastructural development, and making it a point that whoever participates is able to then take care of what is needed. So what we are saying is these young people that I was engaging with are actually saying to us, it makes it practically impossible for them to access this particular thing because this initiative restricts them on the basis of the land that they might have in their possession.
But how do you how do you suggest this should be approached? I mean, if you look at the grazing capacity chart, the calculation of approaches, it'll tell you 4 to 5 cattle would need, what, 8 to 10 hectares of land. So it's by design, it's by the economics of agriculture that you would need 500 hectares of land to be able to keep close to 30 cattle. And the kind of reproduction that you want to then have as an outcome.
No, I really understand the point that you are raising. But what we are fundamentally arguing is creation of an enabling environment. For argument's sake, it cannot necessarily be an issue of 30 cattle. But what we are saying is that create a criteria that is able to accommodate as many people as possible, particularly those that are previously disadvantaged by the apartheid era on the basis of them having access to the land.
I see.
Now, if you can go to Henley on Klep, you can go to the Midval, and you can check the owners of these lands. You can check the people that can farm at such great magnitude. In fact, the leading grazer in Gauteng is a white-owned company. So we are saying that allow black people to also participate in this economy.
So you are arguing for the provision of land, in other words. You're not saying change what could be the parameters, but make sure that you then allow for land to be available also to black farmers so that they can be able to participate.
That is also key. I agree. This is what we are also advocating for. But what we are also saying is that in the case whereby we do not have a black or a young farmer that is able to graze at such a magnitude, what can we best do? How can we then, probably from 30 cattle, can't we reduce the number so that the environment is open? We do not have an exclusive environment that only focuses on a particular criteria or a particular group of people that can be able with the capacity. Let me give you a practical example. From where I stay, a stone throw away from where I stay, there are plots. Those plots there's no one that owns a plot there that has that capacity of about 500 hectares.
Yeah.
But the plots are big enough. There is enough grazing area around these particular plots. And we need to make it a point that whatever we do for an inclusive and a united Gauteng and everyone that contributes. Now remember, in the 2018 statistics released by Stats SA, Gauteng on its own is responsible for 4.8%, which is second last in terms of the employment capacity that the agricultural sector has, of which is led by the Western Cape. So we are saying from this particular significant amount of people that are employed, which is a total of about 36,000, we can build it to a bigger scale. We can make it a point that more people are employed. So it does not only become a matter of a particular individual farming. The opportunities that come with that particular, with this initiative are opportunities that can deal with the bread and butter issue, with the unemployment rate that is extremely high amongst young people in our society. It gives an opportunity for other people to also gain experience and are able to then procure land at a bigger scale, starting from a small scale. Remember, this thing of agriculture or this cattle initiative, it also gives an opportunity to uplift SMMEs, small businesses, people that can produce, which can raise this cattle, people that can then contribute to the economy productively. So these are some of the things that we are looking at as the ANC Youth League in Gauteng. And this is not something that we pick up from nowhere.
Yeah.
It's as a result of an initiative that we tend to also have with all other stakeholders within society.
Okay.
Because we have a program of engagement with stakeholders around the
So do you think since the inception of the program, it could have probably lacked that degree of consultation and engagement with the beneficiaries for them to have input into it, to be able to come up with creative ways of getting them involved?
Yes, exactly. That's what we are saying. To say now, we can't just keep quiet and say it has happened. Two wrongs do not make a right. It says that we need to engage. As we speak, we do intend to meet with the MEC responsible because we believe that this initiative is a good one. And this initiative can be maximized to meet the interests of many other Black South Africans within the Gauteng province. So we intend to meet with the MEC to engage further on better ways of how can we make this program work. We've got people that are which are experts within the field. We've got young people that have eager to participate in this initiative. So we want to make it a point that we have a conducive environment, a government that interacts with society,
right,
a government that is responsive to the issues on the calls of which are made by society. Because a Gauteng that needs to work is a Gauteng that has every sector of society working together. And we intend to ensure that the interests of young people in the Gauteng province are raised, are taken seriously, and thus we have requested the intervention of the Premier of Gauteng in order to making the point that we have a smooth flow of this particular thing. So the criteria does need to be reviewed. The criteria needs to be made sure that it does take care of these other sectors that have a keen interest in participating in this program.
More inclusive. Kotso, I appreciate your time. Thank you very much. Just leave it there. Member of the communications team, subcommittee of the ANC Youth League in Gauteng, calling for a look to the qualification criteria into the Nguni project, which was launched about 2015 by the Department of Agriculture and Rural Development in Gauteng. Right, more news after the break. Stay with us.